pretty even lot.
Yeah.
Like Majestic Man went into it last year, and it got done the heat, and all of a sudden it was on the outer, and then it hasn't been. Its prep since it come across has been pretty average. It was okay in the interfinal. What a miss by Lip, actually.
Majestic Man, yeah.
Yeah.
He built through the.
Yeah.
Yep, can hear you, Mel.
Probably that's more of a priority. Hey? Feels like it never ends. No, it doesn't yet. 365 days a year, 24/7.
Queensland and Ballarat. Maybury on the stop and half 2 points. Basket counts, 2 points for Rina Maybury. McBigwell takes a seat. 1 shot at the line. Maybury 1 shot. To the count, 2 points, Tiffany Mitchell. Traveling violation, Cruz Wall. Personal foul on number 10. Second personal foul. In the game.
Gets tangled up with Allen, blocking foul. Is that passing again from the Lynx? Feet not quite set for Lindsay Allen.
Just had her second foot just moving a little bit too much. Didn't quite get there in time.
Wickham in straight away to Sharp. That one falls in. Shooter's roll. For the Lynx, they had to wait a long time for their first game in the WNBL. They've had a triple header here in round 7. That's a bad pass from George. See if the Tony comes up with it. Garvin hands it back over to her guard. Now she'll fire for 3. Darcy Garvin. Triple falls and the Lynx out to an early 11-4 lead, Seth.
Yeah, and Darcy is so dangerous with that. She's an inside player, but she has that beautiful outside shot, so you really have to guard her quite closely when she's out on that three-point line.
She's gone from strength to strength as well as a WNBL player. Darcy Garvin put up 16 points and 7 rebounds last year up in Queensland in the bubble. And she's improved her points per game total almost every year she's been in the league.
Yeah, she's just improving every single year that she's been playing, and it's a credit to her because she's working really, really hard. She's a great shooter outside, showing her strength inside, boards, and just really, you know, doing all the small little things, which is really good.
You think Ryan Petrie could be saying to his troops here, leading by 11-4 already? They've looked good so far.
They have looked good, really. Perth haven't disappointed in any of their games so far this season, and they're an energy team. They come out and they run their plays well. They know where they want to get their shots from, and it's almost like they like sharing the points load apart from obviously looking for their strengths. When they need a quick score, they need a big score, they can go to Darson, they can go to Mabry, and that's still not even mentioning all the other strengths they have, including Sammy Whitcomb.
A good lineup. Both teams stacked. Here we go. The Boomers looking for a response halfway through the first. Diamond Lloyd, plenty to say in that timeout, no doubt. Perth pushing up, turnover. Good defense from the Lynx. Sharp pushing the issue. Last touch by Perth. Madgen did well.
And that was good defense there, just to make the Boomers play a little bit quickly and force the turnover there. Sharp knew what she wanted to do before she did it, and just a little bit of a fumble.
They press up again, the Lynx. This time Melbourne find their way through it. Double screen for Allen. Tries to find Magbagor, she's fouled. So Allen take it from the sideline. To Magbagor. Lynx again defending this possession well. Garvin reaching in and the Lynx come up with yet another stop step.
Yeah, so it's been impressive defensively for the Lynx. They've just had their hands in lanes, making Boomers make extra passes and difficult passes to shoot tough shots.
Jackie Young fighting in. 2 shots, says the ref. Magbagor did her best. It'll be a foul call on the Melbourne big. Magbagor back into the starting lineup today, coming off the bench Saturday night. And Jackie Young as well. It's been Mabry who's maybe shined as the import, but how have you seen her season so far for Perth?
Well, so far, she's shown that she can score. She's shown that she has quite a deep 3-ball and a nice jump shot, but it's almost been overshadowed by Mabry's scoring ability. So she's actually been a great pickup for Perth, and along with Sammy Whitcomb, they could just score from any place on the court at any time they need to.
Fair resume as well, Jackie Young, #1 pick in 2019 in the WNBA, and college teammates as well at Notre Dame with Marina Mabry.
Yeah, so
the championship.
That's fantastic. They just know each other's game inside and out, working well together, and that was a great pass from her there. Back to Scherf, who hits the 3.
Stepping out. Lauren Scherf as well had a great season game the other night. Have you seen her, Steph?
Yeah, she had a fantastic, especially her first half the other night. She came out, just could not miss, was making all those shots on the inside, making the other bigs defend her, and it was Yeah, fantastic to see. Dried up a little bit in the second, but she just showed that she can be so strong.
George got one back at the other end. The Boomers back within 6. Scherf.
And that's her again. She might be on it again for another big first half. Hopefully it follows into the second.
Bucket for bucket here, the last few moments. Perth by 8. George goes for another one. Back-to-back triples for George.
I think we have a big shooting display tonight.
George up to 6, you're right, Steph. Looks to be good fun. Wickham. Over to Jackie Young. Back inside to Scherf. Here is George and Scherf. Going baseline. Comes down with the O-board, so a second chance for Perth. Chibatoni. Scherf will step out again. Oh, it's raining buckets here at Selkirk Stadium.
And all from the bigs at this point.
Florence Scherf. Back-to-back triples. Likewise for Kayla George.
And Loz can be so dangerous from out there. She's a big body and can finish inside the key, but if you don't carry a hand, she can get on, she can just light it up from outside the 3.
Averaging a double-double so far this season, Scherf. 15 points and 10 rebounds per game in 30 minutes. She's really starved for this Perth team.
Yeah, she's been a great pickup this season for Perth.
So Allen, 2 minutes to go here in the first. McBagor left wide open at the top. Dishes it off to Mitchell. And Mitchell gets the job done from mid-range.
And we know that she can just light a game up as well, so they'll really have to defend it quite closely.
Options everywhere on the court in this one. Scherf thought about a third. Backs it out though. Back inside to Scherf. Now she makes her move. McBagor with her second rejection. So Melbourne the other way, turning defense into offense. Allen. Great passing, Melbourne, and Mitchell just missing. That sequence just couldn't be finished off, and Allen and Wickham get tangled up.
That was a great sequence of play right there. Ezzy comes up with a big stop, and then Melbourne just run it down and get the great transition. You just see Boomers everywhere, and they had open players cutting straight through the key, just couldn't quite finish off the layup at the end.
So Allen will take a spell. So far this season, she's averaging 13 points in 33 minutes, 3.5 dimes as well, as we see Wickham to the free-throw line. Already 5 boards in this one, Steph.
Yeah, Sammy's very much an effort player, and if you don't box her out, she can come up with a double-double.
So splits a pair from the line.
Marina Mabry and Alex Sharp.
And it looks like Perth are going to pressure up again and try and get some of those cheap turnovers.
Scanlon into the ball game for Melbourne. Madgen and Scanlon combine. They pick their way through it. Scanlon with some space. Now Madgen can fire. Scherf pulls it down. Second rebound of the game for Scherf. She's been active on the offensive end. Young finds Sharp in the corner. And Young was fouled there, so it'll stay with the Lynx.
And that's a great look there, because Young just pushed the ball straight into the key and had a wide open shooter on the weak side in Sharp, and Sharp has been shooting fantastic lately, so that's a great look for them.
So they're in the bonus, the Lynx. Alex Sharp, her first season last year, 9 points and 8 rebounds in the bubble up there in Queensland. Diamond Valley Junior. As Young gets the first one to go.
Two from two
from the line for Perth. 9-point leaders. They continue with that press.
They are. They're looking just to slow the ball down from the Boomers and try and make them play a little bit rushed, because they're taking early shots in their offense, getting the rebound and then pushing it down the other end.
Oh, Mabry just missing. McBagor with the defensive rebound. Scanlon's off to the races here, and she's done just enough to draw the foul.
It's a shooting foul on
And Scanlon is just so quick. I say it every time, but she's just got that little change of pace, change of direction, and she's past her player.
Have you seen her season as the backup point guard off the bench for Melbourne?
Yeah, she's been very impressive, especially as a young guard coming through. She's just been quite safe, being able to put her on and pressure up in defence. She's one of those defenders that just gets right in her defenders' pockets and right in at the offense pockets and tries to steal the ball and makes it really hard for them to bring the ball up, which has been great.
Just over 10 minutes per game for the youngster off the pine for Guy Malloy's team. As Mabry to the hoop.
That was quite a tough finish there for Mabry. Strength got that there.
Brings it out to double digits for the Lynx. Just under 30 seconds remaining here in the first now. McVigour. Now Mitchell will fire from the wing. Melbourne get one back. Mitchell getting a hand in.
That gave her that bit of energy, that three. Just get up, get another stop, make it hard for them.
We'll stay with the Lynx though. Shot clock will be off. Here we go. Marina Mabry will finish off the first quarter. Her team leading by 7. Mabry finds some space. Looks to have a foot on the line. Sharp keeps it in. So that'll do it for the end of one. Perth 25 lead the Boomers 18. Look like Lynx had the step on them there, Steph.
They do, but we can't count out Melbourne Boomers because this has happened in a couple of their games where they've had a bit of a sluggish start and then they've just come home firing their next 3 quarters. So it's really going to be good to watch.
Certainly will be. We'll catch you in a couple of minutes' time to bring you the second quarter of this one. Perth 25, Melbourne 18.
To everyone who said we're not strong enough, not fast enough, wrong. We're crossover queens, scoring buckets, taking names and hitting no-look threes. We fight for every ball. And do we dunk? Hell yeah. When we roll onto the court with nothing to lose and everything to prove, you're in for a show. She got style, she got balls, she got belief, she got game.
Welcome back here to Ballarat Selkirk Stadium. Guy Malloy chatting things over with his troops. It's the Lynx leading by 7. We just saw some pictures from the beautiful King Valley in northeastern Victoria. Get up there. It's the regional basketball festival, of course, here in the WNBL. And we've got Megan Huswaite down there courtside in Ballarat. Megan, did you manage to catch Ryan Petrick in that huddle?
Yeah, I did manage to catch Ryan. It was great to hear from him. It is my first game live watching Perth, so I was really interested to what he had to say. What he did have to say was that he's really happy with the pace of the play that Perth are producing at the moment. He did mention, though, that there's a chance that Boomers could get tired legs in the second half. Of course, they did play on Saturday night. Perth played the night before, so they've had that extra day's rest, and they're looking to really utilise and exploit that as this game continues.
Thank you, Megan. Great to have Megan courtside as always. Does a great job covering the WNBL as Scherf gets the first bucket here in the second. Now McVigour for the Boomers. Trailing by 9. Looks to be the start of a very high scoring affair. Mitchell continues that trend.
And it looks like she's really caught fire now. She just made one in the end of the first and she's just started off the second well.
Whitcomb backs it out to Scherf. Mabry, they work it inside to Young. And the Boomers do really well to come up with the stop. Mitchell hands it off to McVigour, stepping through. Too easy.
And that's what we'd like to see from Ezzy. She just is so athletic and is so strong in the key. She can just cut straight down the middle, one dribble, lay it up.
So long and athletic, McGregor. Boomers with that bucket. Draw back within 4. Make it 7 because Whitcomb gets to go from the corner.
And Sammy is so dangerous like that. Such a quick release. A lot of players don't think they have enough time to get their shot off, and Sammy's just so good at that.
Scherf gets the hand in there. It's a foul call, though. Mitchell to the charity stripe. There's that three again from Whitcomb. We know how deadly she can be from long range.
And we see Loz there just catching the arm of Mitchell on that layup. So she will be, Mitchell will be at the line for 2.
90% career free throw shooter in the WNBA, Tiffany Mitchell. Put up 12 points per game last season for the Indiana FIBA. She makes the first. Two from 2 for Mitchell. Back to a 2-possession ball game. Chibatoni. The Lynx held up momentarily. Whitcomb thought about it. Scanlon, now she's off. Can she get ahead of Chibatoni? Mishandles it. Chibatoni just enough. Perth ball. Now Mabry the other way. Scherf. Gee, what vision to find Mabry in the corner. Just a little strong.
You just think it's going to go in. And you're a little bit disappointed when it doesn't.
Yeah, she's been lights out this season. Just hit back iron on that attempt. Scanlon now. Boomers trailing by 5. Hands it back to Scanlon. Mitchell finds some space. Great pass. McGregor finishes it off.
And that was great vision there. Just the drive straight down the middle just to find Ezzy for the easy layup.
Back to 3 points. Mabry hands it off. Chibatoni finds a teammate in Whitcomb. Another 3-ball falls for Sammy Whitcomb.
And now Melbourne are really going to have to watch Sammy. She's hit a couple here, and she can easily hit 5 or 6, just like that.
Up to 7 points in the game. Got 2 threes already, as you said, Steph. Put up 11 points per game so far this season, with Mabry starring. Maybe he hasn't been required to score at the same volume, but you sense that big game is not far away.
Yeah, it's Sammy Whitcomb knows when she's needed, she can score. She's just one of those players that gives her team what they need, and it's very impressive.
George just rips it out of Mabry's hands. And Mitchell, again, she loves this situation. Mitchell floats it up and in. Timeout on the floor. It's back to a 4-point ball game.
And we knew that this would happen from the Boomers. They always hang around. They may start a little bit slow, but they always seem to work their way back into a game. And I think this is going to be a game.
Certainly shaping that way. The Boomers, it's been their way so far this second period. 11-8, they lead the quarter. Mitchell, gee, she's deadly on that fast break. Of course, Ryan Petrick's second season as coach. Guy Malloy as well. He's taken the Boomers to 4 straight playoff appearances, rather. What do you reckon's being spoken about here in the timeout, Steph?
So I think giving the girls a bit of a break would be great right now, because obviously everyone's a bit tired. They're just going to talk about what's working. They've been able to get easily ripped down the middle, straight into the key, and find the open cutters. So whether that be straight down the middle, or whether they the big's been stepping underneath, and that's where they've been scoring. So if they can keep that up, just attacking, get 2 feet in the key and find the open player, I think they'll be in good stead.
Here we go. Perth a chance to talk things over as well. And some heavy minutes for those stars, especially Mabry. 32 minutes per game this season for Maria Mabry. So we've got Megan Huswaite courtside. She's listening to Guy Malloy's huddle. Megan, what did you take away from that one?
Well, the Boomers are just getting their matchups right. So Tess Madgen onto Sammy Whitcomb, Izzy Wright on Maybury, and Lindsay Allen guarding Jackie Young. So watch for those in the next couple of minutes.
Thank you very much, Megan. Great to have her courtside with Guy Malloy. The Boomers trailing by 4 here. Madgen back out there for Melbourne. George will fire. That's a deep three. Just off on that occasion. Scherf provides the screen for Maybury. Garvin can fire. Darcy Garvin gets it to go, and the three-point spree continues.
That's right, and Perth know that if they're making them, they're more than happy to shoot them. And at some point, sometimes they live and die by the three-point line, but right now, it's going their way, so they may as well keep shooting them.
6 of 9 from beyond the arc in this one, Perth. They've been on fire, shooting over 60% from 3.
And the thing is, their open 3 looks, they're not contested. It's after a couple of passes, they've driven into the key, they've got the defense to move, and they're kicking it to that open shooter who has the confidence to shoot it, knowing that their teammates are expecting it. So those shots are more likely to go in.
Here is Wickham, who's hit a couple herself. Young back out there for Perth. Nash Eisenbarger, her first minutes of the evening. Member of the leadership group for this Lynx team. Wickham tries to hand it off to her. Last touch Melbourne is Carly Ernst as well. Great to see her getting her first minutes out there.
It is. It's great to see Carly on the court. It's another great player that they've added to their lineup, the Melbourne Boomers.
So Gibertoni takes a break now for the Lynx. Alex Sharp checking back in. Young inbounding. Needs to find some help. Does by the way of Wickham. Just bobbles out. Sharp a second chance. And she gets it to go. Perth back up by 9.
And that's what Alex Sharp is great. She's great at. She just comes in, crashes the boards, putbacks, can shoot the open shot. And there we go, another board for her. So she's one to watch, I think, this season.
Carly Ernst wasting no time as Garvin, her third triple. The Lynx out to a double-digit lead, and they cannot miss from beyond the arc at the moment.
No, if you're Melbourne Boomers right now, I think you'll be talking about running them off the line and making them put the ball on the floor. Because if you're leaving half a step or a half a hand up, it's going in.
7 of 10 from 3 so far in this one. 70% from beyond the arc, and Garvin just can't give her that much space in transition, really. 41 to 29 now, the Lynx lead. It's blown out very, very quickly. And we've got pictures here of Ryan Petrick in the Lynx's huddle, but you've got to wonder, how do they steady things, the Boomers, with Guy Malloy?
Yeah, so I think, as I was saying, you're going to have to talk about why are the Lynx shots so open? Are you over-helping? Are you not having confidence in your one-on-one defense? When you need to really think about what you want to give the Perth Lynx. Do you want to give them the open shot, which obviously we've shown we don't want to give them, or do you want them to have to put the ball on the floor, make the extra pass, and make a contested shot? So I think their defense is going to be a big step up here after this timeout.
41 points on the board with still 5 minutes to go here in the second period. We've got Megan Huswaite there with Ryan Petrick. What did you catch from that, Megan?
Well, they're just paying some attention to Carly Ernst, who's come into the game, as you mentioned, for her first minutes of her return season. We know that Perth and Ballarat as cities don't have a lot in common, but the Lynx have set up camp here and they've got all the home support in the crowd here at Ballarat. So great to see the locals getting behind the WNBL.
Thank you, Megan. Great to have basketball in Ballarat. Madgen will fire. Boomers get one back. Tess Madgen coming off the bench today, working her way back. And that's her first bucket of the game. Wickham picks up her dribble. Young and Allen get tangled up. That'll be a blocking foul. So that's Allen's third personal foul already.
Allen's going to really have to keep her hands out. A little unlucky here, I think. with the contest there. But yeah, really going to have to be careful that she doesn't get into real foul trouble. Whether she gets the sub out or they just leave her to play it.
Looks like they have indeed taken that course of action. Izzy Wright's checked into the ball game. She takes the shift on Young defensively. George switches on to Young. George did really well.
And it looks like they're going with a little bit more aggressive on-ball defense just to keep a hand to those shooters. Just Kayla switched onto the guard for a minute and then quickly switched back.
Magin tries for her second three. Eisenbarger for Perth pulls it down. Izzy Wright is ensuring she keeps the Lynx players honest defensively. Mabry kicks it out. And jump ball, says the referee. Wright's everywhere at the moment.
She is, and she's going to be that spark off the bench. Well, she started this game, but this is going to be the spark that they needed just defensively. That defender that gets up and in and noise them and making them really work hard for their points. So it's great to see that she's come in and given that bit of hustle.
So breaking play, we've got Magbagor to kick us off. 3.5 to go here in the first half. And if you've just joined us, Perth 7 of 11 from beyond the arc so far in this one. Garvin with 3 threes, Scherf with 2 and Whitcomb with 2. Magin gets one back for the Boomers. Both teams making it rain.
And that shot never looked like missing. It was she shot it with confidence, she was open, it was in her steps and straight in.
Young hands it over to Sharp. Jackie Young, and she draws the contact. Young, her third trip to the free-throw line, coming right up.
Tess Magin picks up her second personal foul.
Second personal on Magin.
It's a shooting foul.
And even with that play phase there, you could see that they were trying to switch the on-ball, whereas it was Jackie Young that realised there was a switch, just crossed straight back over and attacked downhill straight at Tess.
So first one for Young, a touch off. Extends Perth's lead to 7. Chippertoni to check back in.
Second one is good. 1 from 2 at the line. 1 point. Jackie Young. She takes a seat. Checking back in for Alex Chippertoni.
3 points, or 4 points rather today, so far for Young. Putting up 10 per game on the season. Here's George. Backs it out to Magin. She's making her presence felt off the bench. Tess Magin.
That's right. She's coming out and being very aggressive here. She's one of those leaders that when you need to score, she's going to attack the ball hard. She's going to take her open shots and attack the ring, and that's exactly what she's doing.
Chance to build her tally to 8 points on the game.
Tess Magin at the line. 2 free throws to come.
You can see that efficiency on the screen right now, the 3-point percentage especially for both teams. Perth, interestingly enough, shooting better from 3 than the free-throw line at the moment, Steph.
Well, it's worth it. Extra 2 points out there, so let them shoot them, I say.
Magin gets the job done.
2 points. Tess Magin. We got 2 minutes 45 left in the half.
And Melbourne are just, like I said before, they hang around and they grind it out.
Trailing by 5 now, the Boomers. Back to a 2-possession ball game. Chippertoni for Perth. Finds her way in. Magbagor taps it out to Magin. She's everywhere at the moment. Magin all the way to the hoop. Backs it out. National fire for her third triple. Tess Magin up to 10 points now in the ball game. It's back to a 2-point game, Steph.
That was a great pass back there. A kick back straight from Brewster to Tess, who we know has been shooting really well. So they've identified that that's who they need to get the ball to, and she didn't disappoint.
Perth missing on that occasion. Last 3 minutes, they managed just the 1 point. Boomers on a run here. Magin again. Says go and get it to Magbagor. George, they're flipping it around now. The Boomers, Madgen again, going to the hoop for two. Madgen on fire here in Ballarat.
She did well to identify that she had the mismatch with Lauren Scherf on her. Has the speed on her, straight past.
42 apiece. Game on, 90 seconds to go in the first period. Garvin, long range.
That was great ball movement there from Perth. Just the drive straight in to the kick out, straight over to Darcy to hit the three. She's been on fire tonight.
The ball movement for Perth has been stellar.
They have been, and they just know where each other are going to be. They're well drilled. They know how to get the movement, and they read off each other well.
Mitchell hands it over to George. Long two, a little off. 1 minute to go in the first half. Here's Mabry, who's been a little quieter than normal. She'll fire. Mabry. Nothing on that occasion for Perth. Madgen's been everywhere in the second. Backs it out to George. Trying to draw even again for the Boomers. Pulls up the two from the elbow.
30 seconds left in the half. Let's see your voice, Ballarat.
Whitcomb. Couple of possessions to go here in the first half. Whitcomb for three.
Oh, and they both go down out on the wing there.
Play on, says the ref. It'll be Boomers' ball. So subs are out on the floor. Scanlon's out there to finish the half.
And that was a great extra pass there that we just saw from Chieftains.
22 seconds.
Madgen up to 13 points in the ball game. Trails just Tiffany Mitchell and Darcy Garvin with 14 apiece. Mabry pressuring right up on Scanlon. Shot clock off. And a call here from the referee. Foul call. So there might be the bonus here, the Boomers.
I'm not sure if that was that an unsportsmanlike call there, or was that just a regular foul?
Not sure either. Myself, Steph. Here we go, we'll have a look at it.
I think because she had gone past her and she'd grabbed her, they've called it an unsportsmanlike there.
Yeah, you're spot on. So Scanlon, couple of freebies, makes them pay.
And this will be big for Melbourne going into the break. If she can hit this one, they'll be going up into in the break.
Biggest lead in this game for Melbourne has been just 2 points at the very opening. And she can't take the lead on that occasion. But the Boomers with possession.
7 seconds left. Let's hear your voice, Ballarat.
Can they take a lead into the halftime break? So another call. It's a turnover, in fact.
Foul on Kayla. Just they said she was moving a little bit on that screen and hit Mabry.
Yeah, you can see it there. Just infringed Mabry. Jackie Young, 5 seconds to work with. Nice step through for Young, and what a finish to the first half. It's been an up and down opening 20 minutes of basketball. The Perth Lynx, Steph, 47, lead the Boomers 45.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like Perth are up by a little bit more than they are, but as I said before, the Boomers just don't go away. They know how to close out a game, and they know how to grind it and go to what's working. So it's been very impressive seeing Tess definitely step up. She came in, was so strong, making layups, hitting threes, and yeah, now they've clawed their way back into the game.
So it's Perth 47, leading the Boomers 45. We'll catch you in 5 minutes' time to bring you the second half of this one here at Selkirk Stadium. See you then. Megan, take us away.
Darcy, you've had a huge first half, sold the Lynx, but the Boomers reeled it in a bit. What do you need to do in the second half?
Yeah, I think we're probably dropping our heads a little bit when they score. We like to play an up-tempo game, so we just need to, they make a tough shot. We need to just get the ball in and trust our system and come back down the other end and get a good look.
You've been hot from the three tonight. You've just got to make those free throws. If you guys can make them, the lead would be a little bit more.
Yeah, hopefully that's something we can knock down in the second half. But yeah, I'm really happy with the girls' effort so far. 47 for us offensively is great. It's just 45 is we don't really want to be giving that up, so we need to lock down on the D.
We look forward to it in the second half. Thanks, Darcy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Megan. Darcy Garvin, 14 points, 4 from 4 from long range. She's been unbelievable as we take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Gee, what an offensive display we've seen from both teams.
Oh, we have. And the three-point percentage is through the roof. They've been fantastic. And it's not only that, they've been open threes. So the ball movement, getting into the key, making that extra pass, it's been fantastic.
Both teams shooting over 50% from long range. Tiffany Mitchell has continued her great start to the season as well. Already up to 14 in the ball game, averaging 17 a game this season.
Yeah, so she's very, very strong player. Obvious that she's someone to watch, but it's also the fact that the scores are coming from everywhere. It's not just one player that's dominating. It's a string of a couple of shots from a couple of different players. And as you can see, those extra passes to that open shot for Darcy there. And that's been a real common factor.
Can barely split these two at the moment. Are you sticking with your tip so far on this one, the Lynx?
I'm sticking with it. I may not be right, but I'm sticking with it.
I like it. Confidence all the way. We'll catch you very soon for the second half of this one. Perth 47, the Boomers 45.
We're thinking of grabbing a bite tonight. Any new places close by?
And there's also...
Oh.
I think 20's enough.
Yeah, that should do us.
Patrick Stadium in Ballarat. It's the Perth Lynx and the Boomers. Liam Ellison here alongside Steph Blitzards. And of course, it's a reach out round in round 7 in the WNBL. There is an incredible array of support services that exist in our community, and they're all here to help. The first step is reaching out. It's okay to not be okay and reach out for help. You can see some of the wonderful partnering organisations on the screen right now. Some of the assistance services that are available to us. It's an important stepping stone in dealing with one of the really the toughest issues in our community at the moment. Steph, it's been a great first half. Both teams really up and down, threes flying in all over the shop. What do they need to work on, do you think, going into the second half to win this game?
I think whoever can play the most productive defense in this quarter will win the game. So they don't call it the championship quarter for no reason. Third quarter, you got to come out, you got to be sharp, you got to get ready. And I think whoever can really lock it down on their scout will have the upper hand in this game.
Should be good. It's both teams shooting over 50% from three so far in this one. Guy Malloy talking things over to his troops. Do you think defense is what he's getting home there?
I think it would be, because you know that your team has the ability to score. They're not going to ever struggle to score. But if you can lock down the other team and make it really difficult for them, make them shoot contested shots, one and done, box out, make sure it's only one shot, secure the rebound and push it down the other end, I think that'll really make sure that you're doing well in this third quarter.
Some of the scoring leaders in this one, it's Darcy Garvin with 14 points for Perth. She's 4 from 4 from long range, and it's Tiffany Mitchell with 14 and Tess Madgen with 13, who's come off the bench, Steph, and she's showed no signs of slowing up.
No, so she obviously came off the bench today. It's great to see Tess back. And yes, she knew what her team needed at the specific time that they needed it. She goes, I need to score, I need to make a statement here. And she, credit to her, took it to the ring, finished tough shots, hit a couple of threes. Yeah, really did it all for them in that little patch that they needed it.
Kayla George as well has looked dangerous. Couple of triples to her name.
And Kayla is very dangerous that way. She hits one, she can hit 5 or 6. So yeah, she'll be one to watch this second half.
Here we go, third quarter underway. Whitcomb, that three a little off, and George pulls it down. Allen ahead, Nagbagor running the lane, and Whitcomb did really well. Stays with Melbourne though.
Sammy did well to just keep her hands in there without clipping any of his arms there.
Aggressive pass forward from Allen. George and Nagbagor ready to go here. A little break in play as we get the ball all cleaned up. Ready to go here in Ballarat. Regional Festival of Basketball, of course, over round 7 and 8. Mitchell. Nagbagor assessing your options. George waiting for her teammates' assistance. Now George will stop and fire. And Mabry comes up with the defensive rebound.
And that was a great defensive set there from Mabry, just making it really hard for Tiff Mitchell to even get the ball, just denying it, really getting right up and in. So she had to come straight off Kayla and didn't end up getting it.
Sure fouled, so she'll go to the line. Scherf's continued her great start to the season in this one. 10 points already, 4 of 6 from the field.
And it was a quiet. She's been quietly scoring and going about her business. So it'll be interesting to see what her stat line is at the end of the game if she just continuously goes through the game that way.
So the Lynx increase their lead to 3. Scherf splits a pair from the line. Here's Izzy Wright in the starting lineup today for Melbourne. Searching for a teammate, out to Mitchell. Steps back, Tiffany Mitchell. That one no good, Scherf pulls it down. Mabry's got 6 points so far in this one. Not quite as offensively dominant as we've come accustomed to so far in this WNBL season. Garvin has to pick up her dribble.
Slow down on the shot clock here.
And they do come up with it, Melbourne. Allen got Scherf chasing her, and Lindsay Allen finishes it off.
That was a very good defensive set there from Melbourne.
Got the stop and got the bucket down the other end. Whitcomb now. Mabry takes responsibility for Perth. Just working on right, stepping back. No good there. And George comes up with it.
And that play was just a little bit stagnant there for Perth. They didn't get a lot of movement, which was working for them in the first half. They were getting feet in the key and kicking it to the open player and making extra passes, so it would be good to see them go back to that. But credit to Melbourne, they're making them their passes really hard. They've stepped up defensively.
Nice opening, 2.5 for the Boomers. Allen a little strong, but Nagbagor comes up with it.
Too strong from Ezzy, just crashing that board.
Fresh 14 for the Boomers. Nagbagor provides the screen. They're moving the ball nicely, Melbourne. And just can't finish.
They're doing all the right things and just aren't quite finishing off the play.
It'll stay with Melbourne down this end. As we see that young pass just came off the foot of the Melbourne defender. And there's not too many players in this league who could catch Lindsay Allen on the fast break.
No, there's maybe a sprinkling, but no, she's so quick.
Allen hands it into right. Nagbagor drives left and draws the contact on Garvin. Can't believe the call, the Perth skipper. Using that speed and length, Nagbagor.
And that's really one of Ezzy's strengths, that rip from the elbow. Because she has that quick first step and the length to just finish at the rim.
Putting up 15 points per game this season, Nagbagor had 15 points and 9 rebounds last season for the Boomers, coming into her own as a professional here in both the WNBL and the WNBA, as we know, with the Seattle Storm.
Yeah, and she's just been fantastic, and one of those players that just works really hard and does everything, all the 1%ers to get things right.
Great contest there on Scherf, forced her into the miss. Boomers now with the 1-point lead. Allen trying to grow that. Nagbagor did really well. Wright desperately trying to keep it in. She stepped out of bounds though. Allen just trying to make things happen here in this third period.
That was a really physical series of a play there. A couple of players on the floor. The desperation for the third quarter.
Third game in 5 days for the Lynx, and they are showing no signs of slowing up. High scoring affair so far in this one. Chibatoni, George fouls her. So Chibatoni to the charity stripe.
That was a good read there from Chibatoni. She could feel her defender on her back and just curled the screen, went strong up to the rim.
17 minutes per game off the bench this season for Alex Chibatoni. Former Rookie of the Year. No good on the first attempt. A career 71% three-throw shooter, Chibatoni. Had a career high 10 points per game last season for Perth. Misses on the second, but they hold on to it. Garvin and Nagbagor. Here's Sharp off the pine for Perth. Now Garvin off the side of the backboard, so no good for Perth. Come up with nothing on that trip. Can Allen take advantage for Melbourne? Backs it out to Kayla George. Mitchell steps back for a long two. Hits back iron.
And both teams have really stepped up defensively, like I was speaking about at half-time. They're really making it difficult for each other to get through their offense. And it's making it for a slow offensive quarter, but a great defensive one.
Inside to Scherf, and she's fouled. Perth now 6 of 13 from the free-throw line. And looks like it's going to be a close finish, Steph. Those sort of stats come back to bite you.
They do, and they'll be very disappointed with that. They just need to lock in now and hit the rest of them.
Scherf continues her impressive start to this evening. A rare 2 from 2 in this game for the Lynx. They retake the lead. Allen inside to Magbagor. Nice step through, but she misses on the lay-in. Another rebound for Scherf. Whitcomb walks it up. Garvin hands it back to Whitcomb, and offensive foul. Looks to be on Garvin.
Yeah, I think they've said that she was moving into it as they, there we go, the roll, they've called it. She was moving and took the space of Lindsay Allen.
Nice angle there. Good pick up from the ref. Bucket for bucket here. Both teams trading leads. Offense, though, has slowed down a little bit in the third period. And George makes it rain from long range. Her third triple of the game, 3 of 5 now for George.
Yeah, she's definitely one to watch this second half because you know that Kayla, once she hits one, she can hit 5 or 6.
Loves a big moment as well.
She does. And she's not scared to shoot that outside shot with confidence.
George searching for a teammate. Here's Mitchell. No good that time. Still searching for her first bucket in the second half. 14 in the first. And turnover. So the Boomers come up with it.
And this game has been just swinging momentum, and Sharp just wasn't looking and dribbled it off her foot out of bounds.
Tough break for Perth. Sharp's got 4 points and 4 boards off the bench in 10 minutes for Perth. Turnover on that occasion, backs it out to George, another 3. That time a little strong, it's tap back out to Allen. Imagine back out there for Melbourne, floats it up and rings out.
And Melbourne have had a lot of good inside looks that just haven't fallen for them. And that could have been the deciding factor in the game so far.
Chibatoni, 3 ball is a real rainbow type attempt. Allen comes up with it for Melbourne, again pushing the issue. Mitchell hands it out to Madgen. Sliding in there is Wickham, and she will be assessed with the foul.
And that's the desperation of Sammy Whitcomb, just going, sees the ball on the floor and dives on it. Didn't turn out for her this time, but we love that desperation and that hustle.
Just the first personal on Whitcomb, and she'll take a break regardless. 7 points and 7 rebounds. So just the 10 points combined that's been scored here in the third period. We had nearly 50 points scored combined in the second quarter, so it's certainly been a contrast.
It has been, and they've obviously addressed it at halftime, talking about how they can limit each other's scoring, and they've both done it well.
Miscue on that occasion for the Boomers. Eisenbarger picks it up for Perth. Now she looks inside, but Melbourne get a hand in. Somehow falls out to Sharp, but Eisenberger will fire for 3. Perth retake the lead.
No shortage of threes today.
Certainly hasn't been. Up to 17 combined from both teams. Three minutes to go here in the third period. Mitchell meets a lot of contact at the rim. Didn't look impressed with that attention. She's got a trip to the free-throw line coming right up. And Eisenberger, there's that 3, her first bucket of the game. And great to see her in the leadership group for the Perth Lynx this year.
It is. It's great. It's nice to know that it doesn't matter what your scoring potential or what your averages are. It's about how you can lead. And there is such a spread of people in different leadership groups across the league.
So Mitchell gets the job done. Chivatoni out there for Perth. Gets around her defender, but in the end, meets some resistance at the hoop. Melbourne with the stop.
Was maybe a little bit too unselfish there. She probably had a layup if she wanted to go up strong.
Eisenberger did
Great
really well.
hands.
Got the hand in nicely, Steph, yes. Now Perth looking to retake the lead. Mabry loses her defender from the logo. If you don't mind, hasn't quite been Marina Mabry's night, but she will not take her long to get hot.
No, and this is a dangerous time for Melbourne because she hasn't been scoring so much this game and there hasn't been a score in a while, so she may think it's her time to step up, and we know that she can do it.
Lou Brown and Rachel Brewster out there now for the Boomers. Desperate bodies hit the floor. Jump ball, says the ref. There's that Mabry step back.
And it was such a quick crossover behind the back and quick release.
Sharp first to it. Possession arrow favours the de facto home side. The Lynx based here in Ballarat for the foreseeable future. Mitchell back inside to Madgen, missing. Magbagor though crashing in. And she's drawn the foul in the process.
And that she just looked like she jumped over everyone to get that ball, disgracefully landed, and yeah, got the foul call.
So Magbagor up to 8 points and 6 rebounds in the game. First one's good for Rezzy. Just bobbles home. So the Boomers have been taking care of business from the charity stripe in contrast to Perth. 12 of 14 from the line for Melbourne.
And that's really the difference in this game today. Because Melbourne have hit their foul shots and they've kept themselves, you know, ticking the scoreboard over, whereas the Lynx would have had a quite substantial lead if they had have just knocked down their free throws.
Melbourne with another stop up the other end. And they fell Perth to just 8 points this quarter.
Alex Chiabatoni picks up the first personal foul, puts Tiffany Mitchell at the line, 2 free throws.
Another trip to the charity stripe. Tiff Mitchell, the game's leading scorer with 16. Chance to add to that here.
And it's a solid move from Melbourne to get on the rim and make them foul you because they've been hitting their foul shots, and if you're not hitting your outside shots, which they have been during the game, but they're not getting open, they're getting more contested ones. It's a good way to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Here's Mabry. Tries to back it out. Madgen's there to intercept. Tiffany Mitchell throws it ahead and out of bounds. Turnover.
A little bit too much on that pass there.
Madgen's been everywhere today off the pine.
She has been. She's done really well coming off the bench and obviously missed a couple of games. But she, hasn't missed a step. She's had her hands ready. She's been hitting her threes, stepping up for her team, doing really, really well.
Garvin hands it off to Sharp. Now Wickham will pull up for 3. Tough short that time. So this is Melbourne's biggest lead of the ball game, just 3 points.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a timeout soon from Perth, just to address some of the things that they could maybe change offensively.
Mitchell. Magbagor crashing the glass again. So Madgen will slow it down now for the Boomers. Brown comes on the screen. Madgen trying to fight her way in, and Garvin did really well. Less than 60 seconds to go here in the third. Mabry. Nice hesitation move, and Mabry draws the foul. Nearly had the end, one opportunity.
And that's the tale of Mabry's night tonight. She's been doing all the hard work and just not really rewarding herself on the finishing, but she did well to draw the foul and get to the line, but normally we'll see those shots just trickle in for her.
Mabry's up to 8 points in the game. So a chance now to make it double digits. She's averaging 27 points per game in the season, if you don't mind. Of course, opened the season with a 30-point outburst against the Adelaide Lightning. 7 trays in that one.
Very impressive. And she just showed the league what she can do.
1 point ball game. Third quarter closing down. Imagine searching for a teammate. Gets tangled up. Whitcomb. Garvin ahead to Mabry. And Brewster did really well there to strip the ball clean.
That was, she did well to just get her body in front and not bring her arms down as there was contact.
Incredibly tough to do that.
She did. She kept one hand up, saw the ball hanging out there and just tapped it out of Mabry's hand.
The 3 ball goes for the Lynx. They retake the lead. That one's Alex Sharp. In fact, it's a long 2. So shot clock off. Here we go. Imagine letting it run down. Here come the screens. Imagine out to Mitchell. She's got plenty of space. Garvin. Last touch by the Boomers by the looks, and that'll do it for the end of 3. It is a 1 point ball game. The Perth Lynx 59 leading the Boomers 58. Steph, it's game on going into the last.
It is, and as we talked about at half-time, it was a game of defence in the third quarter, and that's what happened. So we'll see who can outscore each other in the fourth, it looks like it's going to be.
Exciting 10 minutes coming up. The Lynx leading by 1. We'll catch you in a couple of minutes to bring you the last quarter of this one. See you then. Welcome back to Selkirk Stadium here in Ballarat. Liam Ellison here alongside Steph Blitzards, and we've got Megan Huswaite courtside. Megan, what have you got for us down there in terms of some big women's basketball news?
Well, it's a big game tonight and plenty of big basketball ahead with the Opals camp team being announced tomorrow ahead of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers in Serbia next month. The Southside Flyers have released a story on their website tonight stating that their captain, Jenna O'Hay, also the Opals captain of course, has withdrawn from the Opals team for the World Cup qualifiers. Jenna has been quoted as saying it's been a very busy 12 months and she doesn't feel she's mentally prepared for another Opals campaign. She's had some niggling injuries in the lead up to the WNBL season and recently contracted COVID, which has set her back further, and she needs to focus on getting herself right both mentally and physically. She's also an ambassador for Lifeline Australia and said that on this occasion she's practicing what she preaches to ensure she looks after her mental health. We wish Jenna all the best.
Thank you very much, Megan. And some big news there. O'Hay, of course, the Opals captain. Steph, are you surprised by that?
No, I think that's a really strong, capable decision that Jenna's made, knowing that she needs to get herself right, especially physically and then mentally. And she is a big ambassador for Lifeline, so practicing what she preaches, as Megan said, it's very, very strong of her to do.
Absolutely. Great to have Megan there with the big basketball news as George nails the 3. Brings it back even at 61 apiece. And it has been that sort of ball game if you've just joined us. Hard to separate these two at the moment. Garvin looking for the response. No good on that occasion. She's got 4 3-pointers in this game, Garvin, and the Lynx shooting 42% from 3. Magdagor up and in. Big big 10 minutes coming up for both sides. What do you think is going to win it for either side here, Steph?
Well, I think that was a fantastic move there from Darcy. But I really think knowing what's working for your team at the time and what you need, so smart decisions and getting through the plays that it's designed to do. So Perth was scoring so freely when they were penetrating into the key and finding open shooters with extra passes, whereas Melbourne have been penetrating strong to the key and finding dishes to their bigs. So if they can both go back to what was working offensively, they'll be able to get their scores ticking over again. But that doesn't mean that the defensive efforts need to disappear.
Both ends of the floor, you reckon, Steph? So that Garvin with the missed three. Allen again wasting no time. Miscue just moments ago with George. This time they go into McMagor. Another bucket for her.
And that's what's been working for Melbourne, getting it inside to their bigs after getting a good look from their guards with the 2 feet in the key or a shot fake or penetration.
George and McMagor have both got 14 points apiece as Scherf finds her way through for an easy 2.
That was a great rip there from Loz. She saw she had an extra step and just took it straight to the basket with no split line help.
15 points for Scherf. Imagine comes around a screen, baseline, hands it back to Allen. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Allen's got to go, tries to draw the contact. She nearly fell in.
It did. I would have been up out of my seat if that one had gone in.
Yeah. Mabry now hits the floor and she's not happy. Play on, says the ref. Temporary 5-on-4 situation. McMagor takes advantage. It'll fall out to Magin though, so a fresh 14 for Melbourne.
I think it's good for Melbourne to just take some time and go through their plays now. Here we go. And shot clock recognition. 2.
Got to go. Mitchell, and she's heard the shot clock buzzer, so good stop for Perth. There's that no call again. All clean. The Magin defense, says the ref.
Yeah, I think that was, she got there in time, had her feet set and didn't drop her arms. It was also inside the charge circle, so it was a good no call from the refs, I think.
Think just an off-shooting night for Mabry, or perhaps scouting reports are starting to pick up how they can limit it?
Yeah, well, it could be a little bit of both. She's had some good shots that would normally have dropped for her, but the scout has definitely been put out to the league now, especially 27 points so far across the board. You want to make sure you're limiting her scores.
Yeah, it's an impressive start to the season as Eisenberger hits a deep 3 moments ago. George now with another triple. She's locked in from long range today.
And that was over a high Darcy Garvin hand too, so...
17 points and 9 rebounds now for George. She's got 5 threes. Whitcomb tries to answer back. It's now 2 of 9 from the field for Sonny Whitcomb in this one. George again going for a 6th. That time a little strong. So nearly halfway through the 4th period. Mabry stepping back. And it just hasn't been a night so far.
It hasn't, and considering it hasn't really been her shooting night, we know that she can hit those big shots, but maybe it would have been a good time to get through a play, make sure you're getting penetration in, extra passes to the open shot.
Chance to erase that error here for Mabry. Back out to Eisenberger. And the Perth Lynx maybe falling a little bit in love with the 3 the last few minutes.
Yeah, they have been known to live and die by the 3, but they are fantastic 3-point shooters, so sometimes it actually pays off for them. That was a great take there from Darcy. Just had a look, had a probe, continued on for the reverse layup.
Tough finish. Draws even, 68 apiece. Carly Ernst back out there as well from Melbourne. If you haven't heard, she signed with the Boomers over the weekend. Big signing for them as they increase their depth. Here she is on cue. First bucket of the season for Carly Ernst. Eisenberger, plenty of space.
That was a good open look there that Perth took. It was a three-point shot, but Sammy got both feet in the key and found the open shooter. So you're happy to take a shot like that, even if they're not dropping.
George hands it off to Ernst. Back to Mitchell. Then Mabry doing everything, but she's been assessed with a foul. Doesn't look impressed. Fourth personal.
And a lot of her fouls have been the same sort of foul, where her players attacked her downhill and she just hasn't had her feet set, or she's kept that arm in, and because the refs can't see that arm, they're calling it a foul.
So that's big. 4 minutes to go here in the fourth, and she's got to take a seat. Melbourne, meanwhile, extending their lead here. Mitchell gets it to go, 2 from 2. So it's a 2-possession ball game, and it's the biggest lead of the game for Melbourne. Young back out there. Allen hits the deck and charge. Offensive foul. Melbourne benches up.
And Lindsay Allen read that like a book. She knew she was going to get posted up. She knew she had to be strong and keep her feet. And as she took that hit, she went down.
Such a smart player, Lindsay Allen.
She knew that contact was coming and she knew what was going to happen.
Fun battle watching these two, Young and Allen. Just the 4 points for Allen, 6 for Jackie Young. Here's Ernst. Whitcomb denying Allen. Now is he right? George, she's been on fire from long range. Garman, though, pulls it down. Oh, Wright did really well. Got a hand in.
That's the hustle plays we like to see from Wright. She's known for that. She just hangs around and tries to get those little tips out.
Now Mitchell working on Sharp. That was a pretty move from Tiffany Mitchell.
Just power.
Got plenty of that, that's for sure. Melbourne by 6 now. And maybe, just maybe, Perth running out of gas.
Yeah, this is a turning point here for Perth. Can they get a good look here and a good shot?
They need a response. The Lynx, Sharp, just a little to the left, but Scherf pulls it down. Whitcomb, no look pass. Flipping it around the sidelines, and Jackie Young's drawn the foul. So a chance to arrest this momentum now for Perth.
Yeah, if they can nail these 2 foul shots, it'll just settle them a little bit, I think. So Scherf did a great job there at pulling down the board, and then they got the extra pass and then did well to draw that foul.
2 shots to come, checking back in for the Lynx, Marina Mabry.
Jackie Young, the 6 points, 4 dimes in this one. Got into some early foul trouble. Has the 3 personals. $12 points per game last WNBA season. As she gets the second one to drop. Oh, risky pass. Young got a hand in. Lucky break for Melbourne.
That was, I thought she was going on for the dunk there.
Cross-court pass when there's a press-up is never too much of a good decision. George running out of space. Allen and Young get tangled up. Jump ball. We'll see which way the arrow favours. It'll stay with the Boomers. Fortune certainly on the Melburnian side the last 2 possessions.
It has been. I think there was a little bit of biff going on there, a little bit of chat.
Just 2.5 minutes to go in this one. It's getting tense. Crowd loving it here in Ballarat for the regional festival of basketball. Pass from George was on point. Allen couldn't finish on the lay-in.
Oh, and they've called a late foul call on that layup.
Very late. So Young will have a chance at the charity stripe.
Oh,
and that'll do it for Marina Mabry, number 5.
She has to take a seat. Just a little hand in the back on that board there.
Well, they've looked in control for most of this ball game, the Lynx, but at this point, 5 points in arrears and Mabry out of the game. It's looking a little bit concerning.
It is, but also this may be the Lynx' time to step up, because when Mabry's on the floor, she's such a focus from the defense. So now it might just open up a little bit for the offensive flow, and they might get some extra passes for some open shots.
Just the 10 points tonight for Mabry, as Ernst extends the Boomers' lead. Getting some crunch time minutes down the stretch in her first game of the season, Carly Ernst. Young showing some aggression. 2 minutes on the clock now. That's out of the reach of Scherf, but last touched Melbourne. They need a bucket soon, the Lynx. What can Whitcomb do here with a fresh 14? Inside to Young, and she gets her shot up and in.
That just eases that pressure a little bit. They needed that score just to, you know, feel like they were still in reach. 2 minutes left is a long time.
Back to 5 points. Certainly is a long time, Steph. Never know, there could be another overtime period as well. Perth have already had an overtime period once this round. Back on Wednesday night, of course. Mitchell, she's got to step back and fire. So the Lynx, that's a good stop.
That's a great result there for the Lynx.
Whitcomb, she drives left. That's a tough contested 3. Ernst did well for Melbourne.
And Ernst has that very long reach, so that was a very hard contested shot there.
Just feel a couple more buckets for Melbourne. It might be just about out of reach, do you think?
Yeah, if they get a score here, it's definitely putting the pressure on.
Allen left. There it is, and that was too easy.
But she just, change of pace, went straight down here and Hill and got that layup. So that definitely has put some pressure on the Lynx here.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, Ryan Petrick wants to chat things over. Timeout on the floor. 78, the Boomers lead Perth 71. So what do they need to do here, Perth, to whittle this one back with 70 seconds remaining on the clock, Steph?
There's still a lot of time here in this game, so Perth have to try and make the Boomers play really quick and take quick shots. And on that, they need to box out, get the boards, and push it down the other end. If they can get some really good transition and get some layups, that would be in their favour.
Mabry fouled out of this one. For the Lynx, it's Darcy Garvin, the skipper, leading the way in the scoring column. 18 points and 6 boards, and it's Scherf with 15 as well. But Tiffany Mitchell's led the way in this one with 22 points, and George has 17 and 11. Guy Malloy chatting things over. Here's some of those Mitchell highlights. Aggressive on the fast break as always.
And she's shown that she is so powerful and so strong attacking the basket, but also has the range of that long 2 and the 3. So as we just see her hitting a 3 right there.
It's been a grinded out sort of performance so far for the Boomers. Of course, the job's far from done.
It is. And we knew they would never go away. We knew they're a team that liked to grind it out. So they've been known to start a little bit slow, but they always hang in there, and they're always right there at the end of the game.
Whitcomb to inbound. Lynx need a bucket. Garvin hands it off to Whitcomb, trying to create some space. They'd love a 3 here. Turnover. Big stop for Melbourne. Mitchell opts to slow it up. They'll be in no rush, the Boomers. Whipping it round the perimeter. Clock winding down. George has got the space, and that's somehow fallen in.
That was some great movement there from the Boomers. They knew they didn't have to shoot a quick shot. They just whipped it around the perimeter, and oh, big shot there from Sammy Whitcomb.
Back to 6 points. They're not going away yet, the Lynx. Will they foul here, Perth? Sharp with a couple of reach-ins. And Allen's letting the shot clock wind down. Now should go single digits. They double the Lynx. Magbagor. Good D from Scherf. So here they go, Perth. They've got 8 seconds. They've got to score straight away. Not a lot of clock recognition, really. Scherf will fire. So, oh, she hits it, but that'll do it. The Boomers prevail here, 80-77 off that Lauren Scherf three-pointer. And it was a grinded-out, tough win on a Monday night here in Ballarat, Steph.
Yes, it was. It definitely was. We knew that Perth wanted to play an up-tempo run-and-gun style of game, and on the opposite side, Melbourne Boomers are known for grinding it out. So it was great to see this game, and yeah, the Boomers came out victorious today.
They get it done in the second half, the Boomers. Tiff Mitchell led the way with 22. Kayla had 19 as well, Kayla George, and they hit 10 threes, the Boomers. It was George who had 5, Steph.
Yeah, very impressive. And we know that Kayla can do that. We know that she has the confidence to shoot those threes, even though she is a very tall body. Most of the time we know the bigs to be bashing and crashing down in the key, but a lot of the bigs this year have been known to hit a lot of threes. We're just looking at the screen at the minute. We know that Carly Ernst, Kayla, Ezzy, Lou Brown can all hit threes. So it's, yeah, been great to see.
First game back in the WNBL for the season for Carly Ernst. How did you see her debut?
Yeah, we knew that she would just be easing into the season, which was good. She got a couple of buckets, which was great. Yeah, it's great to see her back out on the floor, and especially with Opal's commitments coming up with Ezzy and Kayla, she'll be getting a lot of minutes, I would be thinking.
No Penina Davidson tonight, but they're building some pretty impressive big depth, I feel.
Yes, they have, and bigs are very hard to find in the league, so it's great that they have so many at their disposal.
So the Boomers, they improved to 6-2 on the season. Now the ladder leaders along with the Adelaide Lightning. And it's going to be a pretty, big motivational win to beat another title contender in the Lynx tonight.
Yeah, it definitely is. And we knew it was going to be a tough game, and we haven't been disappointed by Lynx's performance at all. In all of their games, they've been very competitive, and it was a great battle again here tonight.
We've got Megan Huswaite courtside with one of the Boomers stars here to chat about the win.
Well, she is one of the stars of the Boomers and this WNBL season, and Tiffany Mitchell back-to-back thrilling wins for the Boomers. You've come behind in both of the games over the last couple of days and got the job done.
Yeah, it's just trying to put 2 halves together, putting all quarters together. I think that'll help us down the line, but it just shows the character of this team. No matter if we're down 20, 10, we always feel like we're still in the game, and we feel like it.
You've kind of won in every fashion so far this season, so that's got to bode well for this team too.
Yeah, I think games like this are going to help us later in the year, so I'm glad that teams are testing us, and we got to just, tie our shoes tighter and face the challenge.
You're one of the leading imports in the league this season. You came up against Jackie Young and Marina Maybury tonight. How did you enjoy those matchups?
Yeah, it was great. Jackie, Marina, and myself, we're good friends, so we battled back home in the W, so I was excited getting able to play some familiar faces.
And another familiar face, Monique Billings. This weekend you've got Townsville. Townsville have been in isolation, but as we know, they made the grand final last season, and that should be another cracker game.
Yeah, like I said, last game, kind of just take one game at a time, and then we're going to focus on Townsville once we get back to Melbourne.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time tonight. It's going to be an enjoyable drive back up the highway to Melbourne after a successful night in Ballarat.
Absolutely, glad we're going home with the W.
Thanks, dear.
Thank you very much, Megan. Another great performance from Tiffany Mitchell. 22 points tonight. And look, it might be some interesting matchups between Maybury and Mitchell throughout the season, but maybe 1-0 tonight to Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell definitely came out on top today, and we will expect Maybury to have a response next time we see that. But yeah, with all the imports in the league this season, it's very impressive. And yeah, as I've said before, it just shows that our league is becoming stronger, and decent, fantastic, I would even say, imports want to come and play.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see. We see some of the match highlights here as well, and gee, it was an electric first half offensively. Slowed down a bit in the second. Taylor, 2 halves, Steph?
Yeah, definitely. So it was very much an offensive focused half with 50 points apiece pretty much at half time. So they had to slow down at some point. Otherwise, we were having a well over 100-point game for both teams. So Yeah, it was obviously defence that was a focus in the second half.
And the free throw numbers as well for Perth. They'll be, I dare say, practicing them during the week, 11 and 19. And in the end, that was probably the margin.
Yeah, that was definitely it. They say free throws win games, and they've won the game today with the free throws and the Boomers shooting at 90%.
Yeah, 18 of 20. Not bad at all. So we'll have a look at the rest of round 8 in a minute. That'll do it for round 7. So it's going to be a festival of basketball, to say the least. We'll be back here at Selkirk Stadium for the Lynx and the Capitals on Wednesday night. And it's good to have Townsville as well back out there and fresh, ready to go.
Yeah, definitely after they've been in isolation. So it'll be great to have them back in the league, and I'm sure they're chomping at the bit to get right back into it.
Boomers in the fight. They'll play Saturday night in the prime time spot there at Parkville. Catch that on the ABC and Fox Sports. And the round will round out Adelaide and the Southside Flyers on the 23rd there, the Sunday, at the Lights Community and Sports Centre. So it's been a great win for the Boomers. They improved to 6-2, defeating the Lynx by 3. Lauren Scherf with that late 3. She had 18 and 5 herself. But that'll do it here for our broadcast tonight. It's been a great win by Guy Malloy and the Boomers. Liam Ellison here alongside Steph Belitzars. We'll catch you next time.